Hi, Professor Charlene May Palma. I am Marjorie Pilar Kaapiag, an OFW student of AMA University Online Education. I'm gonna show you now my interview with these two beautiful teachers I know, and let's listen to their answers. Let's listen first my interview with teacher Marilu Habati. What is an ideal teacher?
Uh, for me, ma'am, an ideal teacher is someone who has a combination of qualities, such as being very knowledgeable of his or her subject, able to effectively manage his classroom, genuinely enjoys teaching and dealing with students, good communication skills, and an engaging teaching style. Yan, ma'am.
Okay. And the second question, what is your teaching philosophy?
Uh, my teaching philosophy is as a teacher, I must not only a teacher to my student, I should consider a good relation so I can touch their lives, not just being a teacher, but a friend that gives motivation for them to success in life.
Okay. Thank you for the beautiful answer. The third question is, what do you feel are the biggest challenges facing today's education system?
Today's education system quite a big challenge to the teacher and students since face-to-face is prohibited when the threat of coronavirus pervade. Very much education were affected. The student and teacher must have internet connection and can still focus on studying while the student are doing a self-study, even distraction is everywhere. Yan, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. My fourth question is, what are your suggestions in order to solve these problems?
For me, ma'am, the solution to solve this problem that the world facing today, especially in education, if coronavirus have the cure, not just the vaccine, but the medicine to fight this threatening virus, so we can go back to a normal life. At this moment, a modular and an online education, the teacher should check the student regularly to make sure that they are still learning even without meeting the teacher personally.
Okay. And then my last question, what message can you give to those who aspire to be a teacher in the future?
Uh, to aspiring teacher in the future, be ready for your obligation. In school, you are the mother who mold your students to whom they become in the future. Not just the knowledge you teach to them, but the values of education.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Habati. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. I learned a lot from you. It is an additional knowledge for me to know more about teaching.
Yes, ma'am.
Teacher Herma Hontiveros Rodriguez. Okay, Ma'am Rodriguez, being a teacher for you, what is an ideal teacher?
Okay, hello, good day. For me, an ideal teacher is someone who has a heart to his or her students, one who also understands them, who will also teach them good values, not only in terms of academic, but also morally, so that in the future, those students that he or she had taught will also remember him or her with those teachings that they could apply in their daily lives.
Okay. My next question is, what is your teaching philosophy?
Okay, my teaching philosophy is that as what I have already said a while ago, not only to teach my students academically, but also to develop them morally so that they could be an asset to the nation, no? Because I know that they will be developed holistically. So they will not only learn what's in the book, but as a whole, they will also learn what life is, and they could adjust in the outside world, especially if they experience challenges and circumstances in life.
Okay. Okay, my third question, what do you feel are the biggest challenges facing today's education system?
Okay, as what we have observed now, the system of education has really changed. No, with the pandemic we are experiencing, so the educational system is very different now from what we used to have before. It has really changed drastically, and because of that, as a teacher, I find it very difficult to adjust, because before we used to have face-to-face teaching, but now we only do modular distance learning or even online teaching. And as a teacher, I really find it difficult, especially in using technology and in communicating with the students, because not all of the students have access to the internet, no, which also one of the many reasons which could cause, no, a lot of problem to the teachers, because they really have to find ways and means in order for them to still teach the students even with the new system we have now.
Okay, thank you for your beautiful answer. My next question, what are your suggestions in order to solve these problems?
Okay, so in order to solve this problem we are facing now, my only suggestion is that we have to follow what the government has told us to do so, because I guess for us to go back to the system we used to have before, especially in education, we have to mitigate first the virus. We have to make sure that we are free from any virus, so that we could continue to have a face-to-face teaching, no, and learning. And that would only be possible, I guess, if the people would have the discipline, no, in themselves, would really have to follow safety protocols. And if, no, the government could also find solutions, especially with the vaccine or the medicines, no, which we could use in order for us to fight the pandemic that we experience now. So if there will be no virus anymore, then education will go back to normal and everything will put into place.
Okay, and then my last question. My last question
Mhm.
is, what message can you give to those who aspire to be a teacher in the future?
If you wish to be a teacher in the future, yeah, you really have to strengthen your patience, especially in dealing with students, no, with children, because as a teacher, I have encountered different personalities of students, students with different attitudes, no. You have to understand them in the best way you can, because you also don't know that they also have experienced something in their homes, no, which could affect their attitude in school. And aside from that, you also have to be understandable, to be approachable. You really need to love your students the best you can, because being a teacher, you are the second mother, the second father, or the second parent to your students, and they look up to you. So therefore, you have to be their model.
Okay, that's all, Ma'am Rodriguez. And thank you for granting my request to be my interviewee. I learned from your answers, and this is an additional knowledge for me to know the essence of being a teacher.
You're welcome.
Reflection. What I have learned from these two teachers is that when they were asked what is an ideal teacher, and they told that an ideal teacher should not teach only intellectual knowledge but also a moral teachings and values. And an ideal teacher is someone being knowledgeable to his or her subjects and genuinely enjoys teaching and dealing with students. The teaching philosophy I have learned from their answers is, as a teacher, you must not only a teacher to your student, you must make a difference in the profession. You can develop a good relation to your students so you can touch their lives, not just being a teacher, but a good friend to give motivation for them to success in life, because it's a fulfillment to a teacher's when his or her student will become somebody in the society. And as a teacher, when facing biggest challenges in education, you have to think on how to solve this problem. That cannot affect on your teaching method. You have to think on strategy and how to teach that your students are still learning, like this pandemic happening now. You have to give more patience. And for me, as an aspiring to be a teacher in the future, I should be ready for the obligations being a teacher, because being a teacher, it is imperative to love my job in the future. I have to find out the possible problem that I might encounter. I must learn the different attitude of the student, knowing on how to handle them and give more patience, because being a teacher must not only impart knowledge to the student but most importantly, good values and principles in life.